For you guys out there that play this game a lot, I've got a question for you.
Yeah, that's me. I play this game a lot. What's up, dude?
I actively try not to look up things about Dwarf Fortress. I looked up like the basics of how to play the game.
So this is a video from Tony Sandman. Now, they're a small YouTube channel with about 900 subscribers at the time of recording, and they are talking about starting some Dwarf Fortress Let's Plays. And they encountered something interesting. Let's see what he has to say.
My plan was to make like a Krug Smash style video out of it, where it's like kind of story, but I could also explain what I'm doing in the game like later on after the story part of it is done. But I came across something.
So I just kind of wanted to briefly state this. The reason Krug Smash's videos are so compelling is because he has an expert amount of knowledge of the game and can contort it into the narratives. For me, why I've always found his videos compelling and why I still find them compelling now as somebody who knows how to play the game extremely well is that he's capable of storytelling. It's more of a storytelling skill than like necessarily an explaining what you're doing kind of skill. And he's able to tell these stories because he's able to take the game's mechanics and understanding them deeply enough that he can essentially play fantasy Mad Libs in between the events of the game. But, you know, it's also very admirable that you're trying to go into the game blind, so best of luck, and I look forward to seeing things that you put out in the future. But let's continue with what he has to say.
Because I was going to do a challenge run. I came across something that I fundamentally do not understand. I don't know if it's a bug in the game or like what's going on here, but you know what, like, if I remember correctly, it was like right over here. And it doesn't matter what we start with, because this is just to show you.
All right, I'm going to pause the video here and just say to those of you who are sensitive to endgame spoiler stuff, especially adventure mode endgame spoilers, you might want to like close your eyes.
Okay, yes, there it is. So keep it paused, because if I don't, it crashes my game. What am I looking at here?
So that he's pointing at here, this is a vault. A vault is where, okay, so in Legends you'll see things where they say that they thrust a spire up from the underworld to build a dark fortress. Those are how the goblin fortresses are built, these things in the overworld. But there's also these things called vaults. Now, vaults are similar to the spires from the Great Undergrounds, these massive spiraling towers with demons in the top, but vaults are a little bit different. They're from the beginning of the world. And vaults can be found, if you look at the wiki here in adventure mode, by asking somebody about the surrounding area until you find somebody who says there is a vault name in a location, and in the time before time, the demon name, whatever it's called, created the name of the vault.
Like my whole plan was to do some kind of cool, really hard start where I start on this evil island with just a goblin faction and nobody else here. Stray pult right below Torish the Destroyer.
So Torish the Destroyer, yeah, that's an archangel. So that's the thing that's running this entire vault, which is a thing that was created by a god. Now, you can enslave the archangel if you find its slab. On the slab is a piece of writing, and that writing has its true name. If you read that in adventure mode as an adventurer, you can then speak with the creature. And if you address it by its true name, that then gives you two options. You can either banish it or you can enslave it. And this also goes for demonic overlords Now, this also goes for demonic overlords in goblin fortresses, but archangels are largely the same in that they're an enslavable ancient being.
But yeah, I would just like to know, what am I looking at, and do I actually embark here, or is this like some kind of bug that will... Like, I don't even know if I can actually play this. I was just about to close the game and upload this, but I also noticed this thing's out here. Just sitting out here in the plains. So if you could tell me what's going on with that too, that would be perfect.
Huh, would you look at that? And there it is. That's the slab. All right, so this is his fortress right here. I was able to find it in the world install, and it's called Angel Vault. Now, that's a good name for it. I think he figured it out, but let's see if we can explore it a little bit. Even more so if we can make it work. I also don't know how much work or effort he put into it, so we'll have to have a peek at this. So, this is the embark. I had to unretire it. He looks like he didn't do any actual work here. But if we scroll around, let's see if we unpause it. Let's check out what happens. So the actual frame rate is sitting pretty okay. I think the reason why his frame rate was so low when he was trying to make this work is because all of the doors were forbidden. But as you can see, inside of this embark is all of these warring minions. Now, if I actually jump over here, we can also see that there are harpies on the map, which is pretty cool. You don't see those super often. And we also have all of these, these warring minions. We actually jump into one of them. We can take a peek at them. They are wearing never still cloth skirts, which are sheer. And for the actual creature itself, it's a very large llama in humanoid form. It is composed of steam, and it is lurching and howling. It's very large, which means it's probably like a forgotten beast in size. Probably the smartest thing that you could do if you ever embark in a place like this is just immediately lock all the doors. Like, just absolutely right off the bat, just lock all of the doors. And then, do this kind of thing and go all the way up. And then go all the way up. Something also worth noting is that the material that this stuff is made out of is called Slade. Slade is the densest material in the game, and if you can somehow get an artifact Warhammer made out of it, congratulations, you just created, like, a gravity hammer from Halo. So we just typed in reveal all. This will show me the edges of everything. And if we actually turn on ASCII, this is one of these instances where ASCII is useful, you can actually see the full shape of it. So it is literally just this kind of brick of material that just goes through all of the land all the way down. And it's not going to go too super deep, because eventually, we're going to hit these cavern layers and whatnot. But as we scroll back up, you can actually see the full shape of it. As you can see, we've already got a bunch of these warring minions coming out. I think they are friendly. That is kind of awesome. I'm not, entirely positive as to why they would be friendly, but they are. I think this is actually a really rad embark and a really cool location to build a fort in. Like I said, if you wanted to be 100% safe, the best way to do this would just be to probably lock this door and then scroll down here and then just start chipping away at the sides of this thing. Because there are absolutely threats in here that will horrifically kill you. They want you dead. But if we move up, let's see if we can actually find the demon overlord. Here we go. Toresh's destroyer. It's an enormous mosquito composed of flame. It has large mandibles, and it is very sturdy looking. Have you ever seen the original Ghostbusters? Yeah, so this Archangel here, this is essentially Gozer the Destructor's Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. It was created by the dwarven god Toresh and is part with chaos, fortresses, and war. Now, because the dwarves have control over locking these, it is possible to survive this. But the reason that his frame rate was dying in that initial embark is likely because there was a door that they were trapped behind. Right now, it's just this one, and they are currently all making their way out, probably to kill my dwarves. As you can see, here they are. This dwarf right here is getting attacked by a harpy. Specifically, we got dwarves climbing trees, trying to run away from the harpies. We've also got harpies fighting with the minions, which is kind of amazing. Yeah, if you want to mess around with this save file, the fort is re-embarkable. I will leave a link to a re-upload of this, just because I think it's a neat spot. This stuff, though, bit of a problem.